Hello there. This is just a very quick thought for the day kind of video, because earlier this morning, it's Friday today, and earlier this morning a famous politician in the UK called Tony Benn died. I didn't really know a lot about Tony Benn, so I don't feel I can really comment too extensively on what he was like, what his achievements were and that kind of thing. So this is by no means a eulogy, but I was on Twitter before, and one of the people I'm following tweeted a quote of his, and I felt it was very poignant, because it's a quote of his from 2005, and it says, "Ask the powerful 5 questions. What power have you got? Where did you get it from? In whose interests do you exercise it? To whom are you accountable? And how can we get rid of you?" Which is brilliant, because if you think about it, those 5 questions should be asked of any government, of any authority really. And then he says only democracy gives us that right, the right to get rid of someone. That is why no one with power likes democracy, and that is why every generation must struggle to win it and keep it, including you and me here and now. Again, Tony Benn from 2005. And after reading those 5 brilliant questions, it made me think, well, you could ask those questions of the governing body. So why don't we do that? So the first question, what power have you got? Well, the governing body has all-encompassing power over people's lives. It can decide on the minutiae of what people can do or can't do in their homes, in their families, in their marriages, and it can even impose rules and does impose rules whereby families are split in 2 if one side of the family agrees with the governing body and the other side doesn't. So that's pretty far-reaching power. The next question, where did you get it from? Now, you'd be interested to know what their answer to this question would be. It's actually in the Watchtower 1971, December 15th, page 758. The answer might surprise you. It says, "The governing body of the slave class is not appointed by any man. It is appointed by the same one who appointed the 12 apostles in the 1st century CE, namely Jesus Christ." So the governing body honestly believes that they are appointed by Jesus Christ. Well, how convenient. They're appointed by someone who is invisible. So there's no way at all of you or me or anyone questioning Jesus Christ to make sure whether he has really appointed them. If you think about it, it's quite scary to think that such far-reaching powers can be claimed by a small group of men based on a mandate from somebody who is invisible and who cannot be questioned. Worth thinking about. Next question, in whose interests do you exercise this power? They would probably say, in the interests of all Jehovah's Witnesses, in the interests of all God's people. Well, it just so happens that the activities that the governing body oversees, such as the printing of literature, the organisation of congregations, the various procedures and policies, actually help them a great deal, because it keeps the organisation going, it keeps the organisation ticking over. For example, in the ministry, you need to have new people coming into the religion and donating money and supporting the religion in order for the governing body to have power. So everything they do, when you think about it, benefits them in at least some way, because whatever they do, whether it's getting releasing a new Bible or getting the magazines printed in a new language attracts more followers, not necessarily to Jesus but to them, because they are the sole authority under Christ. Fourth question, to whom are you accountable? Again, they're accountable to an invisible person. They're accountable to Jesus. How convenient. We can't call upon Jesus to see whether he approves of how they're doing. There is nothing that we can possibly do to question whether they are doing things the way Jesus would want them to do it. They are entirely without any checks or balances. Fifth question, how can we get rid of you? I'm sorry, you're never going to get rid of the governing body. The only way you can get rid of the governing body is to pull the plug. Is to leave the organisation. Preferably everyone leave the organisation so they no longer have power over everyone. So in other words, you need to remove the subjects so they no longer have power over any subjects. They are not going to go voluntarily. They're not going to recognise that they've done anything wrong. Typical example, the last video I did about the Philippines. When you analyse what is in that video, there are clear mistakes that were made, but there's no way they're ever going to apologise. When have they ever apologised about anything? If you can't get them to apologise about clear mistakes that they make, then you sure as hell aren't going to get them to leave their office, leave their authority. So in honour of Tony Benn, who, as I say, I don't know the guy well, I'm still kind of formulating my political opinions as we speak, so I don't have strong opinions on his politics or anything like that, but what fantastic questions that he has left us in this quote, and questions that we all need to ask of the governing body, because they sure as hell won't ask them of themselves. Thanks for watching.